have a little goddess Bonnie rate action happening. Put it in my filters because they're fun. Hello. Who is ready to give them something to talk about today? I have my little handy dandy blowtorch. Hi. Hi, my baddies. How are we feeling? What's in the cosmic ether for us today? We'll figure it out. I definitely have my meditation music that is super ethereal and like brings me to another space, but sometimes my morning meditation is with like Bonnie Raitt and Bad Gal Riri. And lately, that is what the energy has called for. I like need to get in my bad bitch playlist in the morning to activate. That's my higher truth right now. And that's the archetype that I am trying to work with on the daily. So what's up? How are we all feeling? I just listened to a lovely reading from my cousin, Kirsten, over at Salt House's Instagram. If you don't follow them, you should. She does amazing things and has meditations and great tarot readings. And it was so aligned with what I was meditating on this morning. So first things first, just checking in, drop emojis, how we're feeling, maybe 3 emojis, mind, body, spirit, checking in, feeling a little unmotivated. Yeah, that is definitely totally natural right now. It's like, how do we feel motivated when we're like, what is life sometimes? So my bad bitch playlist definitely gets me in a certain kind of way, in a fire, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like motivation with like productivity attached to it. So I definitely feel that for you deeply. And let's see, just trying to get my YouTube live going also. All this tech stuff is really bringing me to another level of just trying to do things on my own without Audrey here. Audrey is normally my tech guru goddess with my communications. Hi guys, look how many people are here. I love it. All so many beautiful faces. So today, as per usual, I'm going to do a little rundown, some positive news we'll start with, talk about the energy report, what's going on in the astrology out there that can help align us, and share some of my morning downloads that I had on my walk, and then just kind of see what else comes up. I think I'm going to pull a card from my mystical deck. Oops, hold on, hold please, hold please, hold please. Okay, oh my God, I'm having much. I can't tell what's happening with technology. So I'm going to pull a card from this deck. I was saying just, what is happening? This is me frustrated. My cousin was just talking about how this time of quarantine, we have to just show our true colors. And this is me just being frustrated with technology. Like so many rainbow wheelings of death, I can't. Okay. So let me focus now, grounded. I'm going to pull a card from this. And this deck is a deck that I don't actually use a lot for my public readings or even client readings. It's like a super sacred medicine deck that I just usually use for myself. But it's like the days are here to share the deck with the world. And also it's the moon just went into Taurus, which I'm going to talk about some of our sacred self-care medicine for that today. And so I felt like with the moon in Taurus, it's a great time to tap into some earth-based medicine, into the shamanic medicine. So we'll do that. So, okay, some emojis I'm seeing. Oh, hold on, hold please. Everything be wonky. Okay. So some emojis. Okay, I like Sarah's emoji of meditating, confused with a skeptical eyebrow, and then fairy. Of course, always a fairy emoji for your spirit. I'm guessing that is. So continue to drop your emojis. I'd like to see how we're doing. I'm just going to do a little stretch right now. I just went for a long walk, and I'm really committing today to being like super duper in my body and just like literally listening to it without question or hesitation and my body feels like it needs a little stretch right now. So if you want to join me, you can. Um, so positive news for the day that I wanted to share from the outside world. It's just a little glimpse, keeping things on the pause. Gotta like keep the vibe high. There's a lot of chatter out there in the ether, in the interwebs, and probably in our own minds right now. Um, my friend George Resch, I keep referencing it, but he has this great account, Tank's Good News. And yeah, he just gathers really positive news articles. Some of them are human interest stories, some of them are, more directly related to the pandemic. Some are just amazing moments of like human compassion and joy that I love to read about. And obviously, we saw that the stimulus deal, the package, was put together yesterday. So hopefully that'll be approved on Friday. That's just some really just practical magic, real world money coming, hopefully to support businesses, people who need it, individuals. Yay for that. And then on just some other like more again, I keep talking about like these celebrity news, but I'm a pop culture girl. I love pop culture. And yesterday I talked about bad gal Riri, who's our Aries moon cutie, who donated $5 million. And then I saw today that a bunch of other celebrities, like kind of, that's why I love like the good deed principle. It's like people really follow suit. This is what we talk about with conscious leadership. Like taking that first step forward, it gives people permission. Maybe if they're on the fence about doing it, it pushes them into action. And this is what I love watching what good leadership looks like right now, and then how certain people fall in line. So we saw like Vanessa Hudgens made some donations, and I saw that Ryan Reynolds, who's just major celebrity crush material, donated a bunch of money. And I also saw that he has like a gin company, and they're doing online bartending classes, and they're tipping their bartenders like super well who are teaching that. And I was just like, okay, I do love seeing the creativity right now, the generosity. And then in other good news, obviously we saw China's cases of coronaviruses have completely flatlined. Like things are becoming under control. There's been over 100,000 cases that have been, people are being released from the hospital. People are kind of the quarantine there is being loosened. People can go back to their daily lives after 2 months. So just things that are like in the public landscape, but like what's happening out there, some positive news, great. But now we're going to shift more to the outside, bigger than that realm with our astrology weather for the day. Okay, I love these emojis. Snake, cookie, dolphin. Kelly, we're chatting later. I'm very curious for you to elaborate on that. Okay. Ooh, I like pricks of bean. Has some like sleepy little mischievous devil kissy face emojis. Okay, so I'm gonna break down the astrology today into one of like the more micro, the daily, like inner planet astrology, and then some of the larger, bigger astrology that's happening more in the outer realm. And first, we're gonna talk about the moon is in Taurus today, and it just moved into Taurus about a half an hour ago. And when I tuned in to my cousin's Instagram live with her card reading, she pulled a card, like a disc card in the Mother Piece deck, which is like pentacle energy. And I was like, yes, like as I was on my morning walk, I was just tuning into the Taurian energy for the next few days. And like my messages from my guides this morning were just like, ground down, sweetie. I don't know about you guys, but the past week of self-isolation, quarantine, I think I've been in quarantine since like me and my sisters kind of started to quarantine with each other 2 weekends ago. And then I came down, I left the city about 8 days ago. And that's been like the true quarantine. So I've been true quarantine for like 8 days. And the transition of just getting in place, the transition of rearranging all of our lives, what does life look like without schools, without work? What are things that we had plans of ways to make money, events? How are those switching to online? How the F do we learn to operate with Zoom and all of these new technology devices? Where do we film our Zoom stuff with a good background? what are we doing for food, going out, how are we providing for ourselves, how do we get in touch with all the people in our lives. Like last week felt very like a lot of movement, and then with the Aries new moon, this rebirth energy, but really this call to like action, to leadership, to this like reset energy. It definitely was a lot of like transition energy, movement. Now we step into the Taurus moon today, and I just feel like we can all use this chance as a chance to ground down. And I hope everyone's been finding time for rest, but the rest might have felt more like, okay, we're resting because we're really like depleted and exhausted, or we like need to rest because our nervous system is really like fiery and all agitated and activated. I hope now today with the moon in Taurus, we can feel a little bit of the particles, like a little bit of the dust that was kicked up starting to settle. We're sort of in our quarantine routines, I think, and we're kind of maybe figured out some of our self-isolation, self-care. And maybe we're kind of figuring out like, okay, this is where I do my work now. This is my new sort of norm that I've created. This is how I can flow through my life. This is how I do my workouts without my gym or yoga studio. And of course, every day is shifting, but I hope that we're grounding down a little bit into this routine. I know I feel a little bit more grounded, that I have like my areas set up. I figured out, um, I found like my nature walk that I want to do every morning. And I found like, okay, this is my schedule. Wake up, meditate, walk, write, do these with you guys, see some clients, write, like, have lunch with my partner, go back to work. Like we've kind of figured out a rhythm. So if you haven't figured out your rhythm, today and the moon in Taurus might be really supportive for that. But also the moon in Taurus, my cousin talked about just being in our bodies, and also just being really like this quarantine life. It's like, we're self-isolating, but we're also not hiding anymore, which is obviously all that Chiron and Aries I talked about yesterday. We're not hiding our true self. We have to be very present with all that is right now. And anyone that we're living with is seeing us 24 hours around the day, around the clock, 24/7, quite literally. And it's just like important now just to show up just in your like authentic self, and just to show up with what your body needs. And again, with the self quarantine life, I really was thinking about how the lack of like the outside world structure just allows ourselves to be in really commune with our body, like listening to our body. Like I think about needing to stretch and like stop, drop, and stretch. I've been doing that all the time. And my normal life, maybe sometimes it's kind of busy, maybe I'm seeing clients and then jumping in a Lyft or an Uber to an event. And maybe I'm not like always remembering to eat on a right schedule. But with this self quarantine life, I'm eating like really regularly, stretching, taking baths, like just doing my skincare routine at night. And just like when the sun goes down, I do feel really called just to rest and put away my devices, or, connect with a friend. So I just hope that today we can find some grounding energy. When the moon's in Taurus, it's really aligned with that. So today it might be good to definitely like put your feet, let them like kiss the earth, like physical grounding. I was also reading about, EMF, like the frequency, the magnetic frequency that we get from our devices, and how it like ungrounds us, and how it's also definitely like can weaken our immune system. So that putting away your phone, putting it on airplane mode, turning your computer off, not just in sleep mode, and then going like you're not sleeping with those things by you, which is something that I definitely can be guilty of sometimes. Doing that is really good for our health. And then connecting in with the earth, just feet on the earth, like feeling the pulsations, the vibrations, the rhythm of the earth. We all know in the spiritual community, we call this grounding, earthing, but also just from a scientific point of view, they say it like really helps like pull those negative frequencies out of you, those like those more harmful radiation frequencies from our devices out of you. So it's like be with the earth. It's very grounding, very shielding right now. Giving yourself a massage is very moon and Taurus energy. And also, moon and Taurus is it's really about like connecting to your five senses throughout the day. So I have like diffusing some essential oils, some thieves oil blend right now in my morning meditation. Before my walk, I was really connecting into that just from like just smelling that, feeling that in the air. Um, yeah, like giving yourself a light touch. If you have a foam roller at home, today would be a great day. Our bodies can carry a lot of tension, a lot of the emotions and energy last week can be stored in them. And like foam rolling that out. If you don't have a foam roller, even using like a tennis ball or some sort of ball on like your lower back, on the arches of your feet, and just working out that tension, connecting into the senses of your body as you do it. And yeah, maybe making yourself a delicious meal. The moon's in Taurus till Saturday p.m. So you don't have to do all of this today. So the moon's in Taurus. These are some like self care invitations, guidelines to align ourselves with this energy and to have it really work with us and for us. And if you're watching this and you are a Taurus moon, a natal Taurus moon, this is a great time for you, a great creative time for you. Um, when the moon is in our natal moon, we have extra access to our subconscious mind, to creative flow, to our intuition. So, this could also be a good time for you to meditate, journal, pull some cards, do something that just feels like expression more from that heart and soul place within you versus like our head linear space. So that's like the micro, that's like the today, tomorrow, Saturday, moon and Taurus invitation. Um, and tomorrow, I'll remind you of some of these things. Tomorrow, I have my cousin Katie is coming on. She is a doula. Her name is Earth Mama, Birth Mama, her business Instagram, which is so appropriate with the Taurus moon. And she's going to be sharing just some tips and guidance and advice for expecting mamas. Um, Again, like there's a lot of, uncertainty out there. There's a lot of things happening. If you're expecting, she's going to share some really good just tips for how to take care of yourself. And as much as she knows of what's going on in the outer landscape, but really she's a great resource for this like prenatal, postnatal self care. She knows so much. Really from the scientific and the spiritual end, in my perspective. She's also an amazing cook. Like her Instagram and the food that she makes just makes me salivate and makes me want to activate and call in the next level of abundance so I can hire her to like make meals for me. So maybe we can ask her to share some recipes also. So that'll be tomorrow, about like 10:20 she'll come on. So that'll be again like tomorrow my morning report will be a little bit shorter. And I like having these different wisdom keepers, these different teachers, healers, different thinkers, different leaders on to share some of their super sacred, super invaluable wisdom right now with us. Because this is the time, like, this is the time to learn more about ourselves, to learn like the different way. If you've been curious, cosmically curious about more holistic ways of being, more, spiritual principles for your everyday life, like how to take care of yourself a little bit differently, how to move through the world a little bit differently. This is definitely a time where we can be in like kind of a deep spiritual school while we have this time at home. So yes, Katie, can't wait to have you on tomorrow. I'm so excited, and I keep saying this, but I feel like Katie as a doula is like such a metaphor right now, because even if you're not pregnant, even if you're, don't even know anybody who's pregnant, I feel like her advice is going to be like so invaluable, because we're all being doulas for each other right now. We're all birthing a new chapter. So I've always loved looking at things through like a metaphoric and mystical lens. And I'm like, yeah, her doula advice is like going to be helpful for all of us to hear, because we're all in a birthing stage. We all just went through the Aries new moon, all of these shifts, all of this great Capricorn convergence, like hootenanny that we're going through. So on that note, I wanted to talk a little bit today, this morning, just a quick context in the astrological weather of what's happening with what we're calling like the nodal axis. So for those of you who have studied astrology, you might have heard about this, but there's like the nodes of fate, our karmic nodes, and it's an axis line. And the north node represents like what we're moving towards in this lifetime. We all have it within our chart. You can find it online for free. Definitely like it's generational, so it's easy. Like I think Astro Twins has a great article on it, or you could go to Cafe Astrology and get your full chart and see. But we have our north node. In our natal chart is what we're moving towards to learn this energy of how to embody this in this lifetime. And our south node is what we're moving away from. That's a past life. And usually it might mean like we might have had like we can look to our present day life of like certain traps and patterns. And like when we have those moments of like, why is this thing coming up for me again? Looking at our south node and more of like the shadow spectrum of our south node zodiac sign, it's like that's where we can uncover a lot about our karmic path in this life. What are the patterns we're breaking? What are the things that we're healing? What are the maybe wrongs that we're righting within our own karmic DNA? Yeah, Drebe, honestly, some of my favorite astrology is nodal astrology. This whole book is basically on that, which we talked about in our live last week. So I wanted to just talk today about our collective, the nodal astrology we're moving through. We also hear about eclipses. I'm sure you guys have all heard about eclipses. It's kind of like where astrology has like crossover moments into like mainstream and pop culture and like broader news channels talk about when we go through eclipses. And eclipses actually happen on these axes of the north and south nodes of our destiny. And that's why they shake shit up so much, because when they happen, we're literally getting like a shift in our destiny, a shift in our karma. We're being called to like a new way of being. And that's why it can feel a little bit like a shock to our system, and why certain things fall away, because that's like the universe being like, those things are not in alignment for your highest good, for our highest calling, for where we're moving as a collective. And the eclipses this year in Cancer and Capricorn, the first one was around the 4th of July. So thinking where you were this year, 4th of July, 2018, what was going on, what was happening. I know within my own life, like I can't even really describe it in words, but there was a lot happening. And that was an eclipse in Cancer. So we had that eclipse that was all about like home, family, our sense of security, how we create security for ourselves in a really unsure world, and how we return to the things that return to like the things that matter. Also, Cancer is very vulnerable. Cancer rules the breast and the stomach. And when we think about our tummy, those are very vulnerable areas of our body, right? Our tummy is like the only big spot of our body where there's organs and there's no bones protecting it. And like, so our bellies are very soft, and we're very like vulnerable. Like a lot of people don't like to be touched on their bellies, which I say, let people touch your softness of your belly. Let people touch your like your love handles and your gooiness, because it's magical. And that's like, if you trust them, to me that's really vulnerable and really intimate, letting someone touch your belly. And if you love someone, letting them touch your belly is like a beautiful gift. So like our bellies are soft, and this is very Cancer. And breast energy, how we nurture, how we take care of, how we feed others, as extensions of our hearts, what our breasts are. And so the breast and the belly is ruled by Cancer. So around the time of 4th of July, you might have experienced something that felt really intensely like vulnerable to you, or like a shift, or not an attack because that sounds malicious, but something that was like, ooh, like a big shock that happened to your sense of security, or something that was vulnerable, or something about how you take care of yourself or others. That was around the 4th of July. And then the next part of this eclipse, that closed out the eclipse cycle, was on Christmas. I also was just like, wow, the universe is not playing that these eclipses were on 4th of July, our birthday. We are a Cancer as a country. And then Christmas, which is this other like super significant date in the whole planet, but definitely in this like Western civilization. And hi, Rich Craftway. So the eclipse that happened in Capricorn on Christmas was again like this restructuring and this breaking of like all this Capricorn energy we've been talking about, the structures that we've depended on, the foundations that we've built, like how we're so obsessed with work and production and creation, and also like this patriarchal energy. Capricorn is patriarchal energy, Cancer is matriarchal energy. Cancer represents the feminine, the divine mother in our chart, and Capricorn represents like more paternal, like the father energy in our chart. So we had like mommy and daddy eclipses happening for us all to look at our mother wounds, our father wounds, our societal mother wounds, father wounds. So yeah, those eclipses were a lot. And now we're in this last few months of this North Node, South Node, Cancer Capricorn energy. This cycle, it was like about 2.5 years. We're going to be entering the North Node in Gemini, starting in May. So I just think also astrological insight. I don't like to make any big claims here because I'm humble enough to admit like I don't know what the F is going on, but we do use astrology as context, as a map, and it hasn't led me astray thus far on my journey. So I'm like, I think by Gemini we will see a shift in energy. Sorry, in May, we are going to see a shift in energy, and that'll last for 2.5 years. And some of these lessons, I do think we're going to have a breakthrough with sort of the COVID-19, with a little bit of, we will be out of our homes. Gemini is very social. But the next chapter is going to rely on communication. Gemini is the divine messenger, the conscious communicator. So we are going to have new ways of communicating with ourselves, and we're going to need to up level our communication game, because that is going to be like the fate of our collective society, is going to be about how do we do in partnership, how do we do in communications, how do we do in spreading the right messages with clarity, authenticity, truth, integrity. This is going to be the name of the game starting in May. But for now, as we're still in Cancer Capricorn, I want you to visualize like the nodal axis that we're in right now. And I keep talking about my alignment. If Sarah is still here, she knows I keep doing this in all of our sessions. Like this is my like alignment hand signal. This North Node, South Node, it is about alignment, but it's almost like we're on the North Node's what we're like stretching towards, and we're pulling it, and it's like pulling us like the sun energy, like we're drawn to it like a plant. And the South Node energy is like a slide that we're slipping away from, like, and things are slipping down with it. So right now, we're in a Cancer North Node. We're reaching towards the things that are giving us life, the things that are giving us light, things that are giving us direction, context, the things that are nourishing us are the Cancer things. So this is, being at home, being with our family, taking really good care of ourselves, finding our own security, finding our own sense of home in the world. Like this is like, okay, like that's what's giving me like life and breath right now. And that's what we're leaning towards. Also, Cancer is about taking care of people on the collective. Capricorn is more of like industry, production, kind of like how much can I get out of this? Attaching like profit, attaching like profit margins and productivity, and like quantifying people's worth through that. Whereas Cancer is like the mama. It's like, if you are alive and you have breath, you are my child and I want to take care of you. There is no separation from my child. Every child is my child because I believe in that. That is very Cancer energy. So this is what we're moving towards right now. And thinking about everything that happened with the children at the border, all of these things that we watched for the past few years, I'm like, this ain't gonna play in the next level that we're going through, because we are a Cancer as the United States of America, and we're moving towards Cancer energy. So things that are not in alignment with that, like, will fall, will crumble, or will just be like, how shall we say, smacked in the effing head by the universe. Like, these are just principles of like, we need to be in alignment with Cancer energy. And right now, we're definitely in that. So what we're seeing fall away is a little bit more of this Capricorn identity. And Capricorn energy has a place. It's valuable. I love Capricorn energy, and we do need Capricorn energy as we move through into this next phase. Like Capricorns make great leaders. They know how to break things down. They know how to do things without like emotion attached to it necessarily. But right now, like I said, as the collective, this is our fate that we're going through. So we're going through this. We're going through this, like leaning towards that. So look at your life today, and what are the things that feel like Cancerian to you? What are the things that bring you comfort? Who are the people in your life that you could take care of? Who are, like who makes you feel like home? And again, we're watching during this weird time of self quarantine. Some things are slipping away. There's a great like Bruce Springsteen lyric. It's like, and suddenly like all the things that didn't matter weren't there, and what was left was true or something. I'll post it later. But like this lyric kind of keeps swimming through my head, and it's like, this is it, okay? So like the sun's shining, like I want you to turn your face towards the Cancer things in your life and really value that. As a society, like we kind of were taught the past few years, maybe a generation, to like not really value the home and family unit, and like to go out and do something, create something, go like swing our big metaphorical dick in the boardroom, which is great. But now we're being called to return back in, and also like this is how we're going to heal and how we're going to grow, is first looking within ourselves, then our home, then looking at like how can we take care of everyone, like how can we enact policy and create business and look at profitability in our business, but through a lens of taking care of everyone, of nurturing and comforting and like minding the whole versus the me. So this is what we're moving through. Okay, babies. If you have Cancer in your chart somewhere, this time might affect that part of you deeply and intensely. And again, like I said, we'll be in this through May. Okay, so this is it. This is why I love astrology, because it gives us a map. It gives us something to align ourselves with, and like everything feels very random at times, and there is a lot of surrendering that we're being called to do, but there is a divine plan, there is a blueprint. So the last thing that I wanted to share today was just a download of something that came through, chatting with my good friend Jamie last night. We had a little, sacred glass of wine, or I had a sacred white claw because there wasn't any wine open. So whatever. But we had a sacred high vibe little happy hour, and we were chatting about things, and we were talking about Chiron and Aries, as one does with their friend over a cocktail. And we were talking about the wound of our identity and everything I shared yesterday in the live. And that's all on YouTube if you missed it. And it's like, that's like so what the medicine is right now. We're all experiencing some kind of wound in our identity. Something in this quarantine is showing us either a part of ourselves that we've been like tucking away and hiding from people, like my cousin spoke about this morning. Like maybe we've never been snippy with our partner or our kids, and now we are being a little bit snippy and a little spicy because we're home up in each other's piece all day. Or maybe our partner has to see our, not has to, but is seeing our witchier side because we have to do all of our rituals with everyone home. Or maybe they're seeing like, conversely, how hard we work, or how, all these things we do during the day that they didn't know about. Or maybe we're just also looking at our identity without the lens of going out in the world and putting on a certain outfit and going to a certain office and going to our gym and being like in this certain like little life we curated for ourselves. It's like, what's stripped down? What is left? This is the invitation yesterday to look at. And then Jamie really said it so beautifully, and like narrowed down the medicine right now. Like she articulated this in such a profound way that I've been feeling, and like took it all into one little sentence. The medicine I feel right now during this self-isolation and this quarantine is, if you are like, it's time for the extroverts to be introverts, and for the introverts to be a little bit more on the extrovert level. And what do I mean by that? If you are someone who is very uncomfortable with being alone, and this time, or you know people in your life who are going through this, and this time is super uncomfortable for you. And like you attach everything in your identity to the busyness and the outside world and the communication and the touching and showing up and like, look at me and like I'm doing this, or just like I have my thing going and everything's great. And I'm busy, 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 working, working, working. And now you're sitting at home and you're just like, what the F? This is your moment to go within, to get to know yourself, bond with yourself, okay? Take yourself out on a date every day, learn about yourself, listen, like see what's coming up. Like this is a great time to go within. If you are an introvert and this self quarantine ain't mean no thing and has done nothing to disrupt your daily routine, congratulations. You've probably been on your inward journey already for a minute. You've seen all this, the things we're going through in the collective, certain healing crises and certain breakdowns and breakthroughs. You might have already been there. Maybe you've learned a lot, which means now it's your time to be more of the extrovert in terms of being seen, because you have the gifts, you have the tools, you have the protocols, the plans, the programs, you have something, a practice or wisdom to share with the world. So no more hiding. So if you're my introverts, my healers, my intuitives, my astrologers, my like little mystical weirdos, and you've loved being inside all this time, you probably have something to share. So this is we're going to be doing a cosmic boss like free webinar training on Friday about being the visionary archetype. And the visionary archetype not only sees but is seen, lets themselves be seen, because great visionaries aren't going to get anywhere from the world by just playing small and being scared or living in imposter syndrome. So we're going to talk about ways to break through those blocks and step into the visionary role, which is one of the archetypes within the cosmic boss. Okay, are you with me? Extroverts, time to become introverts. Introverts, time to become extroverts. If you're kind of like me and you're split, and you're somewhere between the middle, DM me, because that's a unique, different blend. You're probably like in both worlds, and we can have time for both of that. So yeah, beautiful, Jamie. Oh, Emma. Hi. Wait, is this Jamie's mom here? Do we have a mama? I love all the mamas that have been on the morning show. I hope so. Okay. Also, if there's anything you guys want to see or talk about specifically in these little morning shows, I'm going to do these probably at least through every day, or not on Sundays, taking that for a day of rest. I do it through like April 12th or something, however long we're here, because I really like this. It's giving me structure. So if there's anything you want to talk about or see, or just do like a meditation in the morning, or just have like a dance party, you just let me know. Okay, good. Hi. Hi, Jamie's mom. You made a good one. You made a good one. She's one of my favorite humans. Good job. Props to all the mamas raising the good ones right now. Oh, God bless good mothers. That's also Cancer energy. Cancer North Node energy today. Go thank your mom for something they did for you. Moms are just the best. They do so much stuff behind the scenes, so many sacrifices they don't even consider sacrifices, so much hard work, so much everything, like so many things they have to learn. So go thank your mom today, or thank a mom. All of life has come through a mom. Everything that's ever been created that's good and worthy and valuable on this planet has come through a mother first. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one of the mystical shaman oracle decks today. Again, like I said, this is one of my favorite decks. It's like, again, I don't even use it that much because every card is like so dense with wisdom and medicine. It's not just like, oh, like let me pull a few of these a day. Each one kind of like rocks my world a little bit. And Jamie is in my shamanic program on the path with me, and these cards are like just such reminders for me of all this wisdom that we learned and got to be immersed in. So I'm just going to ask, just going to ground down. If you're home, you want to close your eyes and take a few deep breaths and just set the intention to just breathe in some love for yourself, breathe in some grace, breathe in some just presence to this moment. We're grounding, the moon in Taurus, the earth is holding us. Maybe as you breathe, you can allow yourself to feel like the earth becoming one with you. The earth's rhythms becoming your rhythms, detaching your breath and your heartbeat from the outside world and bringing it back down, 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 down to the earth, to her beating, to what she holds for you. Maybe you feel the earth rise around you like a fern gully moment, the plants rising to meet you, the earth just growing around you and holding you in a beautiful cocoon of just green healing light. And from this place and breathing into your heart, you can say your name to yourself to call your power back to you, to attune this reading to your higher self. And I ask all of my angels, guides, guardians, ancestors, to the divine energy that courses through all of us, I just ask you to deliver us a message, something that we need to feel nourished today, to feel centered, to be in this alignment with what's being asked of us right now. I'm just asking what here, my family, my friends, what they need to hear today for their highest good, the highest good of every person they love and know, and of course, the highest good of the greater collective. Just ask and pray for all of this with just humbled reverence and gratitude for all of life and for all that is right now. Aho, amen. And so it is. Okay, so we can open our eyes. Let's see. Ooh, okay. Jaguar energy. Okay, so yeah, Jaguar energy. This is like funny because we're talking about all this mother stuff. Jaguar is like, they call her like Mama Jaguar, Mama Atarongo. Mama Jaguar is like the other energy of mother energy that I did not talk about. And this was spirit being like, don't forget to talk about the other mother energy. Jaguar, Mama Jaguar energy is like fierce protection, like effing fierce boundaries over what is mine, what is important to me, over my brood, over like my babies, these like extensions of my heart that are out in the world, beating, breathing, real life, like versions of just this inner me, and like how protective that energy is, and how much she holds that, and how she is like, will be damned if she lets anything even like let in a whisper of unchecked energy into her circle. So Jaguar energy reminds us too of our fierceness, but also Jaguar energy, I feel like, is coming today to remind us how held we are in that energy, and like how held we are in that right now. And Jaguar it's walking through the darkness, and like the Jaguar moves through the jungle without understanding, like no sight, but like just a sensing. Like they say, the Jaguar tracks, the Jaguar like feels into things, the Jaguar trusts the intuition, the Jaguar like like we're in darkness right now. We are like, and there's a grief attached to that, and there's confusion, and there's really like just the hit in our face reminder of how much we're not in control on the larger scale. But it's like trusting into your intuitive knowing right now, and like having, your boundaries up, but also knowing that there's like a circle of energy of protection around you. That's the Jaguar, like, in our meditations that we do in school, it's like we have a Jaguar that walks with us and sits with us and circles around us when we go on journeys to protect us. And we all have that. We all have access to that. And Jaguar energy is also about like, um, they say Jaguar energy, like, kind of bites our head off, like bites our head, like the thoughts, like the circular thoughts, the thoughts that don't serve us. It like bites the head off of anything that's like not serving us in protection of ourselves, so we can listen to our intuitive self. And that's that fierceness. So I'll read the card from the deck so we don't miss anything. But it says the Jaguar is the protector of all of life in the Amazon. And in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey, aka bad bitch energy. Um, With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest and the earth. Fearless and at ease, Jaguar knows the way beyond death, and she is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. The invitation for us is the Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you. Okay. To go outside your normal routine. Okay. I'm listening. To push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown. Okay. To venture into the mystery. You see why I don't pull these cards like every day? These things that like shake me to my core. To venture into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. We are venturing into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. Okay. Like, toss all caution to the wind. Know that your Jaguar instinct will serve you well. What in your life needs to be released? This is the medicine. What have you carried around with you for far too long? Which is ready to be let go of once and for all? Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear so you can allow it to go. It's time to come out of the shadows and end the shadow games that you may have unconsciously agreed to play. Call on Jaguar to unfetter you from toxic relationships and recover your natural instinct for the right people and situations. Okay, okay, Jaguar, I see you. The spirit's not playing today, guys. I was like, it is bad bitch. It is Aries season, and I just feel like this is too effing good right now. I love this. And this is the other archetype of the Cancer, the mama energy, is this mama jaguar energy, okay? So I'm going to put this in the story, and I want all of you to invite, to invoke, to embody this energy today in your movements. I want you to literally feel a jaguar around you when you need it, and then I want you to be the jaguar when you need it. Like, jaguars kind of move all like stealthily and sexily, and this cat energy is like very Aries archetypal energy. I'm really here for it. So yeah, jaguar. Okay. This is why I pulled the cards at the end, because now I am shook and don't even know what I am talking about anymore. So jaguar energy, also just pointing out numerology, that is 2810 cycle of completion. I was looking at numerology with Jamie last night. We were talking about COVID-19, 19, 1 plus 9, 10. 10 is a karmic completion number. It's the beginning and the end, 1 and 0, all at once. So this is also a 10 card. So I just must point that out. Okay, my babies. Wow, I am shook. This is also live on YouTube right now. So we can also access this recording. If you miss it, you want to go back to it. See, this is why I can't do my card pull, because now I forget my little closing, little Virgo admin things. I'm just going to my Pisces moon zone. But some things that we have going on, like I said, tomorrow we have Katie on, who's the doula, Earth Mama, Birth Mama, to share some tips for our expectant mamas at home right now. We have the Cosmic Boss Archetype webinar tomorrow night about like activating and tips for your inner visionary. This is definitely a time to step out with your business if you're feeling ready, and I want to support that for you in ways that feel good. So we're going to do this free training, take it from there. And then what else? I don't even know. Sign up for our newsletter if you haven't. I'm recording a bunch of videos. They're going to go out in that on our YouTube, and the energy report. We always have the weekend mirror mantra. All that stuff's free goodies. And yeah, that's it, guys. I guess I'll see you tomorrow, my babes, my baddies, my bosses. This was like amazing. I love it. So go invite in this energy today. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all for watching. Stay cosmic AF today. Wash your hands. don't be racist, the usual, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Oh my God, I'm signing off here. I'm sorry, guys. I am like zoomed out. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.